Dream Team Production.
What's up, everybody? This is your girl, Libretto. I am here for another episode of the Route 279 podcast. And today's conversation is a special one, y'all. We are sitting down with an Atlanta native whose journey blends music, education, and spirit-led healing. By profession, she's a dedicated music teacher shaping young minds through rhythm and sound. But beyond the classroom, she facilitates transformative sound bath and spirit work experiences designed to help people slow down, reset, and reconnect. I am here with none other than Queen Aza. What's up?
Wow, what an introduction. You ate. Hey.
I tried. Only the best for the best. This is my sister, y'all. We are so happy to have you here today. I'm so excited to really kind of dive in deep into your spirit work. And so I want to start off by asking you a initial question here because you're an Atlanta native, and so I want to know how that has kind of shaped your background and your journey here today.
Well, honestly, being an Atlanta native forced me to learn how to operate in chaos because Atlanta is chaotic. The energy is chaotic. So learning how to navigate in the chaos and not allowing it to be a part of my GPS system.
Mm.
It's a lot. You have to think fast. You got to do, be, move. But our spiritual journey doesn't have to be like that.
Right.
So I had to reshape, renew, regroup, revisit, redo. And I had to understand like everything doesn't have to be fast paced. Healing is not the popcorn method. Sometimes you have to slow cook, put it in the oven, no microwave. So I took learning and adjusting with the energy of Atlanta, and that helped navigate my journey with healing.
Wow. And that's a good point because for as much as people want to migrate here, it is very fast. It can be very fast, as many metro areas are, but it's so intentional to slow down. Everything's fast right now. Our media is fast. Our food is fast. So I definitely understand where you're coming from for that. So as somebody who has trained in music education, how do you view frequency and vibration from both a technical and a spiritual lens?
Wow, that's a great question. Well, with my musical training, we know about major, minor. So what I would do is, since my sound bowls are in the key of C, you know, I would navigate in that major aspect. But then when I want to get to the shadow work, I go into A minor. And so I'll do, you know, certain patterns, certain frequencies, depending on what's the session about. You know, when we're thinking joyous, abundance, well, I was going to the major keys, major, you know, and that's more of a lighter key anyway. But then when we go into our shadows, our depression, anxiety, you know, a lot of people deal with, you know, I don't want to say the word, but I'll say that, you know, it's just a lot. And a lot of people, when they're talking about these things, it's really difficult. And even when you think about the history of music, when people started introducing the minor keys, what they say is demonic, it's dark, it's da 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 da. So I matched that with that energy. And so what I would do is once we tap into that energy, I would shift the narrative and bring it back to majors. So, you know, I add different aspects of music as far as like the wind chimes. And it's not just the bowls. I use percussion to kind of lead you so you won't stay there and to push your way out of that energy. So it's kind of like a journey, a musical journey with the vibrations and frequencies. You know what I mean? So fast frequencies, slow frequencies. I even use dissonance, consonants, right? So, you know, in the musical terms, when you have a major second, it's kind of clashy. You know what I mean? But I will utilize it, create leading tones, and go straight into the resolution. So it's kind of like doing work, creating a song, a serious song with different stanzas, you know, so we can end right back at the major key.
So basically, like movements and
Yeah.
like a classical piece would be almost.
Yeah.
That's dope. I really like that. So, do you see similarities between teaching the children and then guiding adults through healing sounds as well?
Yes, because we're all students of life. We're all students. So it's like, even though children are more receptive, you know, with the adults, if you just meet them where they are, it makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
relatable. Same with the students. I can't introduce a lesson and expect them to know where I'm coming from if I'm not making it relatable. So now, when it comes to meeting the adults where they are, show them the humility. Show them that, okay, we're, even though we may be adults and stuff like that, we can still learn, and allowing them to learn. And one thing about, the spiritual journey, a lot of us, when we start over, because a lot of people start over in their 30s. Right.
Amen.
So unlearning what you know so you can relearn, that's a process too. So in a sense, we're all children again because we're learning something new.
Yeah. And that's really what a lot of therapy even highlights in the first place is that most of us are stuck at a certain age. And most of the time it's not an age in adulthood. It's very much usually my inner 12-year-old, my inner. So really and truly, either way, you're probably still speaking to a child.
Yeah.
Whether it's somebody's inner child or a literal child. Okay, so we hit the ground running a little fast, and I love that for us. But for the people that's watching, I'm gonna bring it back a step.
Okay.
Can you give us insight into what sound frequencies are, sound baths are? What is shadow work, spirit work? Can you give some insight to that for those who've never heard of it?
Okay, so basically, let me try not to use musical terms. With a sound bath. So first of all, let's even go back. Music is the only thing that can enter and exit your mind with or without force. If you're thinking about commercials or songs you don't like, 9 times out of 10, you will know that song or you'll know that commercial, even if you turn it. Because music enters and exit the mind with or without force. So with that sound bath, I allow people to get into a space of comfort. And I speak words of affirmation over them. Allow them to breathe a little bit. I speak on energies that I may feel or see. Because a lot of people, when they come to sound baths or therapy, it's like they need help and they just want peace. And they want something that can help them maneuver. And that's what music does anyway.
Right.
When you're happy, you play happy music. When you're angry, you may play other types of genres, whatever that may be. Some people may go to gospel music. Some people may listen to sound baths on YouTube. So with the crystal bowls, what we'll do is I basically move my mallet around the bowl and allow that frequency, that vibration, that sound, because it will resonate because of the material that it's made out of. So naturally it will resonate. So with that, once I begin to play, depending on which bowl, because some bowls will even though all of them have a different sound, sometimes when I hit the bowl, it may sound stiff. So that means, based on that chakra, I speak on that chakra. So let's just say, for example, this one, this bowl will represent that mental, right? If it sounds stiff, okay, we're gonna speak affirmations on the mind. We can't think clearly.
So maybe block.
I mean? Yeah.
In other words. Okay. Cool.
So
okay.
we address blockages. I allow the sounds to lead me to what I need to speak on. Some sounds may be clear. Some sounds may not. So just depending on what bowl, what sound, how it sounds, how it feels. I may speak on it.
I like that. Cool,
Mm.
cool. Okay. We get we cooking, we cooking. Okay, so how do you prepare yourself energetically before a class?
I pray. I even though I'm big on spirituality as a whole,
Mhm.
so I pray. I meditate. I'll sing. I'll put Florida water. I may, burn Palo Santo. Incense. You know, so I would ground myself before I do anything because right now, you know, I don't think it would be fair to myself to strive to speak on everybody else's stuff if I'm not even speaking on my
Right,
own.
right.
So I would rather be in the clear head and space before I go doing spiritual work like this.
Over other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's really considerate to do because if you're taking somebody into a space where they need to be clear, they have to trust you
Mm-hmm.
to also be clear. So I really like that.
Thank you.
I like that. That's very intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you talked about the bowls, but what other instruments do you typically use through a session?
Wind chimes, a go-go bell, a bamboo flute, tambourine, bongos, maracas. I think that's it.
That's pretty, I mean, that's pretty expensive. That's impressive. That's more than I thought you were going to say. So, shoot, I'm here for it.
And I use wooden instruments because when it comes to like the percussion with the wood is natural, it's nature. So I strive with at least with the percussion to make sure that I'm using something from the earth because it helps with grounding. Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay. And so, I'm a scent girly, as you know. Do you usually use aromatherapies during these sessions, or do you kind of just leave the air clear?
I encourage it because negativity cannot dwell where it smells sweet.
Mm.
That's just like skipping mad. You can't skip mad. You know,
Yeah,
that
look
it doesn't
crazy.
make sense. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
negativity cannot dwell where it smells sweet. So
Mm.
I encourage it.
So what in that case, like what sense do you typically lean towards?
Something that's sweet.
Anything. Okay.
Cause you got your oils, you also got incense that smell pretty fruity. Like, it just depends.
Mm-hmm. Sidebar, you actually inspired one of my holiday scents.
Really?
I know you didn't know that. And it's really because of my husband. So this is my sister for real. So we experienced a New Year's together a
Yeah.
couple of years back.
Yeah.
And we had a fire pit at
Mm-hmm.
shout out to co-owner Shavar's house. And you had frankincense and myrrh
I did.
that night.
I did.
You remember that? Okay.
Wow.
And my husband was just like, that smells amazing. Like what it like, and I heard you say what it was, so I told him what it was. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna do my holiday line, and I'm really big into scents that aren't just commercial. Like I like aromatherapy and things that are going to be a healing to your space as well. And so I was like, what I do, what I do. And like that night he told me, he was like, you need to do a candle like that. You need to do a candle like that. And I kind of, you put things in the back of your mind. So I'm sitting there like holiday, like what could I do that's like unique, and that pops in my head, frankincense and myrrh. It's holiday based, but it's also very authentic and true to
Right.
aromatherapy and what it does for your space. And so I did a frankincense and myrrh.
Wow. And
Yeah.
prepping that night, I was like, and co-owner can agree. I was like, yeah, we new energy. Like it has to move. Like he was big on, okay, we want to go outside and, just write down stuff, put it in the fire. And I was like, yeah, I want to add to that. Yeah. we have to move energy.
And it was very therapeutic. Like the overall thing was a vibe. Like it was really therapeutic to do. But yeah, I know you didn't know that. so when you said that, I was like, let me tell her. Yeah, because we never got to talk about that. But yeah. Mm-hmm. And to this day, like if I'm making room sprays around my house, like we used it when we had our candle class here for the holidays. That was one of the scents. When I make room sprays for just around the house, like in my bedroom right now, that's the scent. So serious. My husband has a bottle on his side, and I do too. So serious. So serious. I hope that made you smile because I mean it's real. It's true. It's true. Okay. So have you witnessed a moment in your sessions that has kind of affirmed like I'm called to this?
Yes. So a few years back, during COVID, it was an app called Clubhouse that I was on a lot. Oh my goodness, I was on that all the time. Goodness. So it was one particular time I made a room and it was like I forgot the name of it, so I just sound bath and healing or something like that. And literally when I started the room, there was a few people in there. But when I ended the room, it was like 50 to 60 people in there. I mean, someone said, put your cash app on the top. So I did it. Well, I wasn't expecting much, but people were donating. Thank you from around the world. Because Clubhouse, it was around the world.
Yeah.
I mean, I had friends from Germany, Australia, like, where's my friend from? Pakistan. Like, it was people around the world. Do that more. Do that more. And at first, I'm like, I was more concerned about the sound. I didn't know if it was audibly attractive because I was on the iPhone and with the vibrations, you don't know how it would sound. But people were like, do it again, do it again. And I was speaking over people's life like, we are amazing. We are abundant. We are safe. Around COVID, a lot of people didn't feel safe. I was real big on grounding. Let's ground. Let's ground. And people were very excited about that and were asking about that more and more. And I was like, how beautiful this is. I've only done one in person, maybe one or two in person, but most of them have been through technology. So if I can touch someone's life
through a medium,
right, imagine what it would be in person. And that was my aha moment.
Wow. That's dope. That's dope. And that ironically speaks to frequency. Like it's literally frequency at that point. You're using the medium. It's not even in person. So frequency is penetrating even through that. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay. So with that being said, you have a Soulful Sunday experience coming here.
Yes.
Soon, live. So speak on that. So what made you choose the name Soulful Sunday? What can the attendees plan to experience?
Okay. I created Soulful Sunday because it's spiritual. And I just thought, it'll sound cool, Soulful Sunday, wow, sound bad. A lot of S's going on. It's me, but it's about to be very inspiring and people's soul will be full. And what can they expect? Not only, playing and affirmations, but just a release. Release the things that you don't speak on. You don't have to talk about it. Like, it's not one of those things where, hey, tell me what you're struggling with. I'm going to speak on it. Right. I'm not going to do that. Yeah. But what I will do, okay, I feel the energy of whatever. We're going to speak through that. we gonna, move that energy around.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're gonna be comfortable if they want to sit up in chairs. So be it. If they want to sit on their yoga mats, they could bring their mats. Some people like bean bags. I want them in a comfortable space so they could just relax and just, I'm good. And you may tear up a little bit. That's fine. No judgment here. You may feel like you want to speak on some things you release. That's fine. No judgment here. But the whole intention is just to serve people in a way to where it's different and unique. So you will enjoy some good music, but you'll also be enlightened. You'll also feel lighter. Just like, with different religions, no beef with any of them. Everybody's spiritual in their own way, however it looks, whatever the case may be. But the feeling that you feel when you leave that place, wherever it is, you feel like you let it go. You gave it to Spirit, God, Allah, the Most High, however higher self, however that looks. But you will feel lighter, and you will feel like I can take on the week. Because usually on Sundays, a lot of people rest.
Yes.
Try to regroup, get ready for work, recovering, however that may look. That's the perfect day to choose to get you ready for the week.
And you kind of spoke to kind of what my next point or question was going to be for you is, do you pull from different religious sources? You mentioned chakras, you mentioned spirit work, affirmations. Do you kind of pull from various references or sources as far as your affirmations that you use during the class? Like, what is your...
I do. Because I want everyone to feel like they're comfortable. It's not a debate about what you believe in.
Right.
Because it's enough going on. So I want everyone to feel comfortable. I want them to feel like, okay, I'm not going against something.
Right.
I take something for everything. It's a united front in my book at this point. Because it used to be, if you don't do this, you not this. You ain't real. You ain't steady. Da-da-da-da-da. Until life hit me on the behind and said, hey, you need to study. You need to be humble. You need to just understand oneness, wholeness. Because honestly, being a being that I am, I mean, if you think about it, all my students not the same.
Yeah, you're exposed big time to variation.
Right. And the same with adults. Like, it's not going to be a debate on what you believe in. It just is what it is. Because you could be depressed in any religion. You can have anxiety in any religion.
Clock it.
You know what I mean? So at what point in time are we willing to address the things that bother us as human beings versus striving to put on the front? We don't do that here. It's not allowed. Be yourself, heal from what you dealing with, and move around. It's hard. Like this Ramadan right now. A depressed Muslim is still depressed. So it's okay to heal while still fasting and praying. So it's like, at what point are we going to end the politics and just address what is? And a lot of people, especially in America, we're hurting. So cut the crap and let's get down to healing.
And I love that it seems like we're moving to a space of religion and therapy. At one point, it used to be, like you said, with respect to whoever you serve, however you serve, pray it away. Or again, whatever practice within your religion it is, focus on that. But especially in the Black community, it's usually pray it away, right? And so I feel like we've definitely moved to a space where we are more open-minded about the therapeutic things that can also supplement and be of help to your healing. So I definitely understand where you're coming from on that.
Mm-hmm.
So one more question for you before we give them the details about this class.
Okay.
Let me see what I got. So how important, and you kind of touched on this a little bit, but how important is it to you to create healing spaces, and what does it mean to offer spirit-led work as a Black woman in today's world?
Ooh, wow. That was a banger. Shout out to Seamus. Wow.
Yeah, we want to know the real stuff. Let's get to it. If we're gonna talk, let's do the real.
Okay. Starting with being a Black woman, a strong Black woman. That narrative came from knowing that you can't depend. So the narrative of being a strong Black woman, I got this, I got this, I got this. It's a trauma response.
Mm-hmm. Not a badge of honor.
It's not for me. Cause I remember when, when I said, hey, save me, help me, help me.
Help
So
me.
and trying to carry so much while still being expected to show up for everybody else. But the moment, as far as me being a Black woman, the moment I started creating boundaries, healthy boundaries, it became a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So benefiting off my brokenness
Mm-hmm.
and lack of boundaries,
Mm-hmm.
that's what they want you to do as a society. I'm no longer willing to do that. Just lost my mother. Seeing the healing that had to take place and is still taking place with feminine energy. Do, be. That's a masculine energy, regardless. Push, work.
Mm-hmm.
At what time are we allowed to nurture ourselves? And society says, no, you're supposed to be strong for everyone and do and be and be running on emptiness. But even the Bible said, my cup runneth over. The abundance should, but the boundary should. The being able to rest, that's okay. Even God rested if
That's
you.
literally a mandate of God. It's literally a mandate.
So it's like being for everyone else, but expecting my lack to be in the back. I was no longer willing to do that.
Mm.
Empathy burnout.
Mm-hmm.
That's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
When I was, being a teacher. Gimme. I need. Those are kids. But being the oldest daughter, I need. I wasn't tripping, but it was heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Then going in unhealthy relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I need. But at what point was I able to get for myself?
Mm-hmm.
And I had to fight for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm no longer willing to give everybody everything else in the sake of my mental health. It's not worth it. I grinded in school, 3.8 GPA, 10 classes, practicing on my instrument. Didn't even enjoy college like that for real because I was too busy trying to get the work done.
Mm-hmm.
So I missed out on a lot.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of parties I missed out on. I was just trying to do the right thing. But then when I graduate from school, I'm realizing, I still got to give. That 3.8, it was cool, but help me, Laude. Summa cum laude, oh laude, whatever status you graduated from, you still gonna be treated the same. So I realized I missed out on so much while trying to look good in the matrix.
You're speaking my language now.
So it's like At what point can I choose myself?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm demanding that for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I can't expect people to respect me and love on me, give me empathy if I'm not even empathetic towards myself. I can't expect you to do something that I don't do for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that took a lot of realization.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the realization was pain. Some of it I was embarrassed about what I allowed. Some of it I was like, you know what? I never want to do that again.
Mm-hmm.
So it was different steps with even healing myself or forgiving myself. And once I got to that point, I'm like, okay, what can I do that I love to move the energy around? And I got the bows and the instruments because we need it. Like, girl, guess how many grievous days I got? Only 3. So I had 3 days
To pull your life
to
together.
pull my life together for somebody who I knew for 38 years. And I had to ask permission. My FMLA was canceled or not approved because this one signed. It's so much documentation.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much paperwork, so much this, that, just to ask for space.
Mm-hmm.
People don't have that. Society doesn't allow that. People working 2 jobs to make ends meet. Staying in unnecessary relationships because it's 2 incomes in the house.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people are accepting things that are against their boundaries because they have to deal with this because I need this.
Mm-hmm.
At what point are we able to choose ourselves and say, it's okay? Take a moment. You got to take a sick day to go to the doctor. You got to take a sick, people want explanations on why you're doing what you need to do.
Ooh.
And you would think the older we get, you know how we was, I want to be grown. I can't wait. I can't wait to be grown. But then realizing they treat you more like a kid when you grown.
Whew.
Give yourself space. Give yourself space. We deserve it. We need it. And the longest relationship you ever gonna have is with yourself. Not with your significant other, with no one else but yourself. That's the longest relationship you're ever gonna have.
Mm-hmm.
And if that relationship is toxic, everything else around you gonna be toxic. So, yes.
You preached the word then. For sure, for sure. Whew.
I know.
You bless my little heart. You bless my little heart. Okay, man. Okay, so tell us, when is this experience? Where is this experience? And when can they have more?
March the 15th.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry, y'all. Dates everywhere. I got a concert coming up. Excuse me, America. Excuse me. But March the 15th. What time? Did I say 12:30 to 1:30? And it will be here in Righteous Company, honey. We do what we do best over here. We do it here. We do it big.
All creativity.
Yes, and this space is the best space for it because, first of all, family. First of all, the name. Come on for the name. So, righteously speaking, this is the best spot to do it. Here, March 15th.
And y'all better be here.
Please be here. It's be a treat.
Registration open soon. I want to thank you so much for your time today, for your energy today. It's been amazing, as it always is.
You're welcome.
That's a given. And
oh, please bring water.
Yes.
Because
hydrate yourself.
Bring water, because when you're doing work like that, you're gonna get thirsty. And energy is moving, and you don't want to be stuck. You want to hydrate yourself, move that energy around. So bring water. If you need a fan, bring a fan. Do what you need to do, but make sure you're comfortable, because we're gonna go deep, and I'm gonna make sure that I give my best, because I'm doing a service to people.
So you guys, Please make sure you register. Spaces are limited. We will see you on the 15th. This has been another episode of Route 279 podcast. Libretto, Queen Aza, thank you so much.
You're so welcome.